Howdy folks, it's JayborinoPlays. This is Starcraft Retribution, a not custom campaign for Starcraft 1, an add-on, an official add-on for Starcraft 1, Mission 4, Reclaim the Ruins. So I think this mission is actually what we would have done if we would have sabotaged the Terran installation in the second mission, but the fact that it's labeled Mission 4 makes me think that I'm just going to play it. So we'll just play it, even though I said earlier I wouldn't, I'm gonna.
Terran raiders have set upon our research outpost and continue to impede our studies of the Taladonian ruins. Due to your recent sabotage of the maintenance duct, a weakness has now been created in the Terran defenses. It is imperative that we seize this opportunity to rebuild our base, which is vital to our search for the Argus Stone. Clear the region of these interlopers so that we may return to the business at hand.
Yep, okay, so this was the alternative to the last mission. But again, it's like missions 3 and 4, and if I were to skip straight to mission 5, I know there'd be like at least 2 or 3 comments, Jayborino, where's mission 4? So let's just play mission 4. Reestablish the Protoss base, eliminate the Terran presence. Alrighty, up that game speed, get in there, Zealots, get in there, probes, eliminate that Terran presence, get on in there. Keep eliminating that Terran presence. Oh, a vulture. I don't like that one bit. Okay, well, here's our base. Let's find the Nexus. We get control of everything once you take control of that. Give me that shit. Get mining, please. I'm splitting up my probes. That's not where I told you to go at all. All right, just make a lot of probes right now. Pretty decent base setup right now already, just because we already have a lot of supply. Got a lot of pylons. We have 1 cannon. Everything's on fire. I don't like that at all. So what I'm going to do is start looking around, find out where our choke point is. Let's just rally down here. Might want to start getting gas now. I'm not sure. I see little doodads like that of cave openings, and it makes me think back to Legacy of the Confederation. Those were always utilized in some way to show... I don't know. They're there to, like, show something. All right, so come here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here. I'm just clicking all up the map, and we'll see if he finds his way. Meanwhile, what do we have here? Citadel of a Dune. Don't really need it right now. Let's get a Singularity Charge, though, and a couple Dragoons. 1 Dragoon is good enough for me. All right, so it seems like this is the only way they can come in by ground, if they do. Otherwise, they may have to drop. Let's see if we can find the Terran base. I don't know. Just go up there, Zealot. We'll figure it out later. You guys get mining. Again, I'm splitting them just a little bit so that I can split where they go to mine, because they don't automatically split for mining. We've got another base up here. Possibly a free one. If we take this base and we fortify up here, we might not have to worry about anything, but that's assuming that the Terran don't drop on me. Let's just walk this guy all the way to the upper left and see what happens. Keep making Dragoons, please. Get mining. Split their mining a little bit, otherwise they get confused because they're stupid. One fire bat. Where he came from, I don't know. Again, the enemy might drop on me. I have not found a ramp, I don't believe, to move up these hills. The ramp can only be on the side. There wouldn't be a ramp over here. Still nothing. I'm feeling like this is gonna be... I'm feeling like this might be... I don't want it to be, but I think this might just be an air mission. Because everything is spread out like crazy. Everything is. Spread out some defense here. Again, the enemy might drop on me, or they come in with air units. We need some detection in advance for that. Another base up in the upper left. I could try to rush and take these. Random. Where did this guy even come from? Was he there the whole time? I don't know. Let's get some more Dragoons for now. We have tons and tons of minerals here, so we really can afford to tech up here. Where is the ramp to get up here? Good lord. If we have to walk all the way around with ground forces, I'm really thinking we just make air, or maybe shuttles? Because I really don't feel like messing with this. So, eliminate the Terran base over the Zelnaga ruins. Ugh. Well, there's a ramp right there. Again, that's a long way. And this is a big map. I'm fine with big maps, but not where there's like an enormous ground route. Huge, huge ground route. He's dead. Yeah, I'm leaning. I hate to do it, but I'm leaning towards the carriers. Leaning towards the carriers here. What I could do is move up here and take this base. It seems like they are running to my base, though, which is good. That means that I can set up sparse defenses, not everywhere, because that means that they're, you know, maybe they'll attack the side of my base with wraiths or something, but for the most part, we're in good shape. I am definitely... You know what, we're going to make sure we vary it. I'm not going to do, like, mass carriers every map, but this is a mass carriers map, especially because the objective is simply reclaim the ruins, which basically means kill everything. So my plan is to yeah, we're going to mass carriers. So I have a feeling a lot of the maps are going to be this way, but if they're not as big, we should be in okay shape to do an amalgamation of ground forces. I'm okay doing that, but right now... I think the carriers it will be. We don't need all of these cannons, that's for sure. So we'll get some more down here. So we want to be on the lookout for ghosts and lockdown. Those will really give us a bad day. I do want to make a small expeditionary force to move up and at least take that upper right base. We did start my upgrades. We're going to need a fleet beacon pretty soon. Let's go ahead and get at least one Stargate. And so there's definitely a Terran base, probably on this whole plateau, or maybe just slightly in the middle, but for right now, there's really nothing we can do about it. Okay, they might attack from over there as well. We're just going to need a slightly mobile force to defend ourselves, but for now, we should be okay. Let's grab these fellas and move on up to this area. We can set up some cannons, we can set up a nexus. Mostly, we're going to need the gas if we're going carriers. Mostly, but we'll see. May vary what we're going to need in the long run. We're going to probably want another cybernetics core. This shouldn't take too long. It's not going to take as long as it seems, especially if we rush to carriers. If we can get like 8 to 10 carriers out, we can most likely sweep the map, depending on how aggressively the enemy rebuilds, because if it's a kill everything map and the enemy rebuilds a lot, I will be very ornery, as you probably know. I'm going to get a couple Zealots and Dragoons at home as well. The enemy attacks most likely will ramp up like crazy in a little bit. Let's get that fleet beacon right away. Not enough minerals because we laid down the nexus elsewhere. Now we have enough. I could probably stand to get even more probes. Okay, so move on up with these units, and then we're going to want to set up a couple cannons. We're going to need some zealots to get on top of siege tanks that inevitably will come at us eventually. But for right now, we should be pretty safe. Let's just keep making probes, honestly. That's really all I need to worry about. Probes and pylons for now.
You have not enough minerals.
There we go. But base setup in the long run shouldn't be too bad. It shouldn't be too bad to get all this working. Upgrades are going to go slow. Basically, I want to coincide my full upgrades with a pretty large bio ball. Hopefully we can survive this with what we have. Backup Dragoon. Get rid of those Firebat Zealots. That's your only job, Backup Dragoon. They're already 1-1. We are not. Okay, we're going to set up some cannons here. We're going to set up probably a gateway or two here. Get out of the way. But this is certainly where they're attacking us from. So let's also get a gateway up here. Just so that we can, you know, reinforce with some units faster than what we already have. Because it's going to be very, very slow going. I'm going to take these units and move them up here. Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's fine. Go ahead and do that. Okay, now blue is attacking me. Backup Dragoons. Attack. If one of these cannons can finish, we'll be in okay shape. Back up. That's some StarCraft 1 micro. Not the best, but not the worst. Better than nothing, as I usually say. Okay, so we've got some more units coming up here. Fleet Beacon, we want to get that max interceptors. Let's get air armor level 2, and let's start plasma shields level 2. Meanwhile, give me that gas, give me that gas. With two bases like this, we should be in great shape. We're going to just need more cannons, most likely, to continue defending ourselves. We don't really need to worry about a ground path here. We just need to set up stuff. And then when we inevitably... We're going to have a huge excess of minerals eventually. Eventually we will, which means we can make a crap ton of cannons, a crap ton of zealots to defend us. We have lots and lots of probes. We could send these up, but honestly, I think these would be fine here. We can make like 3 or 4 Stargates. Again, we're going like ham. We're going total crazy macro build. So as long as we can defend this base, the faster we can get a couple carriers out, the AI will, you know, the AI does come online at a reasonable rate, but as long as you can sort of beat it out, you know, get a couple carriers out, probably before, what, like 20 minutes? I think that we should be there in time before they can get a lot of ghosts with lockdown, a lot of wraiths. We're going to need to tech to robo in order to get observers. We're going to need at least 1 or 2, especially if they send wraiths, which they definitely will. I think the key is to if you make carriers, you know, a small number of units that you can use control groups with. I mean, you can use control groups with a lot of units, but for the most part, I'm going to be using, you know, control groups with carriers. That way, we can just have the observers follow the carriers. I never want to box the units around the carriers, because then I'm going to accidentally grab an observer and run it into the enemy like an idiot. Anyway, let's start our first carrier. Robo facility coming up. Let's get another Stargate. It's really going to come down to Vespene. It almost always does. We're going to slightly oversaturate this gas. This gas... Again, I'm going to slightly oversaturate the gas just to make sure it's optimal. I mean, it's not optimal. It's oversaturated, but only slightly. You know, if 4 probes puts it at, like, mostly saturated, but, like, just the tiniest fraction not, I would still rather put the extra probe on it if we're going super macro build. We can afford the extra probe. That's not a big deal. As you can see, we already have a lot of money saved up, but not gas. It's always going to be gas in the long run. So let's go ahead and just get a bunch more gateways down here just for fun. We're going to need an observatory. We can also do an orbital tribunal. I don't really want to, but we can. They're coming at us with tanks, which means they're going to be siege tanks pretty soon. The siege tanks are going to be quite annoying. We're just going to get a lot of zealots. Let's get another forge. That way we can get ground upgrades other than shields. Start +2 air weapons. And we're going to need pylons. So we'll make a little pylon farm here. That's good for now. Rally our carriers here. There is no auto build for carriers. So you just have to manually queue up those interceptors. We'll worry about that later, honestly. Right now, I don't really have the money. Well, actually I do. I have plenty of money. We are getting mined out here faster than I would have expected. So let's move on in. Every time they attack up here, I'm going to move in with my ground units just to kind of keep things under control. So a lot of my supply is going into this defensive group, but I really much rather hold on to this base. I could take this other base too. It's a little too late. I'm sort of committed to what I'm doing here. Get air armor level 2. We're going to get both observer upgrades. Ground weapons and plasma shields level 3. Not enough gas. What did I say? What'd I say about that fat gas? Alright, back up, buddy. Those shields are going to apply to our buildings too, though, so that's going to help a little bit with the photon cannons, especially against Marines. You think against the shields, Marines will only do, what, 3 damage? Granted, though, the Marines will be +3 themselves, so it'll just negate that. So I guess in the long run, it doesn't do shit. I take everything I said back. And for now, we're just going to be waiting for carriers. We've got 2 now, and as we get gas, as we get more and more gas, we should be able to clear this out. What I could do is move down here. This bunker is just slightly in the wrong place for me to move over and set up a whole nother base. It seems, though, for the most part, they are coming from the same area, which is nice. We're going to queue up more Dragoons. And just wait for upgrades. And eventually, we'll be able to move out. And each time we rack up 500 gas, we'll make 2 more carriers. We are in more than good enough shape. More than good enough shape. I think we're good to go, and we have more than enough resources to build tons and tons and tons of interceptors. I can make even more probes. Very, very tempting to take some units, like a reasonable amount of units. And let's move across the map over here and see if we could take this other base. It might not be the best choice. But let's grab a... Shut up, Siri. I don't understand. My new iPhone... It's not really new. I've had it for a couple months now. But my new iPhone, Siri just turns on when I cast. Like, very frequently, too. Just all the time. So, if I do this and you hear my voice become a distant memory, it's because I've turned my head to tell Siri to shut the fuck up. I need to just turn her off. I never use Siri. You know, Siri was so revolutionary, but, you know, in retrospect, I don't use it. I don't use it at all. So it's kind of funny to think that it's like this you know, crazy new service. I mean, it's not new, but it's, you know, it's this service that I just don't use. I mean, it's cool, like, oh, Siri, read my email, as opposed to just opening the email app. I don't know. I don't get it. Not a big deal. I don't know what I'm complaining about. I'm sure there's plenty of great uses for basically what is, you know, considered a personal assistant, basically. But, you know, I guess it just doesn't... I just don't value it that much. Carrier... I should, though, because I paid for it. Jesus. Alright, pylons. So that they're not attacking my main base at all, because they can get to me with a ground force. So it just sort of seems like they're leaving me alone for the most part. Alright, stop it, Marine. Alright, back up. That bunker up there is quite annoying. Let's just set up a big line of cannons. It's gonna get absolutely smoked by siege tanks once siege tanks start coming, but for now we're fine. Make an assimilator. Would you stop it? Just let me set this stuff up in peace. Meanwhile, that goddamn bunker up there is giving me a problem. There's tanks up there. Let's just, maybe we can just kill this area of stuff. Let's move some of these units up here. Perhaps not. Alright, now we're gonna back up. They're gonna be able to siege me from the high ground, though. I would like to move up there eventually. Oh, okay. They still got me. We need just probes and such. Stop, 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 stop. Oh my word, stop. Everybody calm down. Make me some dragoons right now. Move on over here. Make me some carriers now. There. And there. Make me some interceptors now. We're just about ready. Make me one more observer. I'm gonna make even more Stargates so that we can reinforce very quickly if we want to make scouts or some stupid shit like that. Why would I make scouts? That's not gonna happen. Who am I kidding? Okay, get on gas. Dragoons coming up. I'm actually gonna make some zealots from back here and just rally them all the way up. Rally them all the way up. Okay, they're coming in with wraiths. Again, I'd really like to just get up this ramp and kill this bunker. And it's also, this will be a good test to see if they rebuild it too. Okay, we've made progress. There's a white base up here, but then there's also blue somewhere. What the funny thing is I was like, oh, I'm gonna make air units just so that I can make this go a little faster. And I already have like a forward operating base all the way over here. Okay, make another pylon here. You guys get on gas. Start mining minerals. Okay, cool. And I'm feeling okay about this. Carriers, give me some more carriers, please. What is it, C? It's bound to be C, right? Carriers, carriers, carriers. And we're just gonna make more pylons, get us to 200. +3 sounds great. Probably get a Templar Archives just so that we can get +3 ground stuff in case we want to just reinforce quickly with ground units. Zealots always, you know, Zealot Dragoon is always just a great option if you just want to run in with ground units to quickly clean up a base after you smash through its initial defenses with heavier units like High Templar, Reaver Carrier, whatever. We're not making an Arbiter. I just feel like that's just a cherry on top that is completely unnecessary. No. Okay, looking good. I think after these carriers come out, we're gonna get going. There's the tanks. There's the tanks that I expected. Let's get going. EMP is not something I enjoy, as you can imagine. So the enemy is starting to tech up. The enemy has started to tech up, rather. So we have to destroy them. We must destroy them in their entirety before things become worse. Okay. Come on, probe. Don't get stuck now. And we're just going to make just layers of cannons. They will get destroyed by tanks if we don't pay enough attention. Hopefully we will pay enough attention. Okay, so we're more carriers. Keep building interceptors. We've got +3. Everything coming up. Okay.
Instructions.
Wonderful. And I'll make, I'll make 2 more. Doesn't hurt.
Instructions have engaged the enemy.
But, we built most of the interceptors that we want. So once we... What is it? It's I, right? We gotta just spam I to make sure we just keep doing that. Meanwhile, all of you, please keep mining minerals. We've got Zealots and Dragoons coming up. We're gonna run them in as like a cleanup force here. But for now, let's take these carriers. How are we doing in terms of building interceptors? Some of these aren't full. There's too many of these that aren't quite full. So I'm gonna wait just a tiny bit of time, give my +3 some time to finish, and then we're gonna go. This is a good time to save. What is this, mission 4? Keep in mind, this is as if we would have taken the other cannon route, but it's too late. It's too late. We've already done it. Give me those Templar archives, please. Cool. Interceptors. We can still build more.
Your command. Instructions.
Okay, I'd say this is good. Let's get going. I see blue units up here. We're just going to meticulously kill everything. Science vessels are going to be the worst. Science vessels will be the literal worst. You know what I can do, actually?
Upgrade complete.
Is set up just groups of shield batteries to restore my shields after I inevitably get EMP'd a million times. And by groups of shield batteries, I mean a lot of shield batteries. It's going to take a lot of focus. You know, you can just hit the ground with the shield batteries, but you're going to have to do that with every single one. It's going to take forever. Okay. Control Group 1, interceptors. You guys just go. I see more blue down here. This is the blue base, actually. Let's go. We have our interceptors. Not our interceptors, our observers. Nothing can really stand up to the might of this many carriers. Honestly, nothing will. The AI also is kind of stupid. They're going to be confused. And again, the big question for me is, will the AI very aggressively rebuild? I don't know. They are trying to cloak. We should be fine. Okay, and we are pushing in. We were EMP'd, as I expected to be. Do we back up now? And restore our shields? I guess so. Observers, make sure you still follow me, please. So we're going to back up to our huge shield battery farm. Get some shields back. We're going to push down here. Up. There's the blue main base, I think. So we're going to focus on that. So we're just going to do this. These shield batteries do not have enough energy right now to do everything I'd like them to do, but that's okay. So just hit the, target the ground, and, they'll grab some. So this is good, actually. I'm going to make some pylons and just expand my shield battery farm. Anytime I go mass carriers, especially against Terran, I think this is the right choice. Do we just have to destroy white, or maybe we have to destroy literally everything? Again, the big question is going to be, does the enemy rebuild aggressively? If not, then we should be fine. If so, then I'm going to be ornery. But for now, normally I would cut. But honestly, this is our first mass carrier. You can see the carnage. You can watch the carnage. We can experience it together like the best pals that we all are. Let's get our +2 stuff. Okay, let's move this carrier away slightly. It's getting hit. +3 shields is quite helpful too, as long as we don't get EMP'd, which we already had, but honestly, as of right now, all of those shield batteries that we built are slowly getting their energy back. It doesn't seem like the enemy is rebuilding anywhere, which is great. But all of our other shield batteries are slowly regenerating their energy. We're going to make more shield batteries for when we inevitably want to come home. Destroy blue so that they leave us alone. We took all 3 of those bases. I mean, one thing that's good to do pretty much on all these maps is send, as long as you're feeling pretty safe, just send one of your initial units home. Not home. Send one of your initial units that you have at home out just to kind of see where the map leads. It's always good to find those initial expansions as fast as possible. So, again, as long as we've destroyed all the SCVs, I don't think there's anything that can happen here. We can do mass carriers every map like this, and this is just a proof of concept to show defending is not hard. You know, you set up cannons, you get groups of Zealots and Dragoons, maybe Reavers, even against difficult AI. It's not hard to defend, and then as you make those carriers, they will also help you defend. So the question is, you know, is it too boring to do this every mission? And I would argue, yes. It's not just boring for you to watch, it's boring for me to play. So I'm really not, I don't plan on doing this every map, but if I run into instances where I'm having problems, there's more than enough minerals on all these maps where if I would have committed to a ground attack and it failed, I could have very, very easily just made mass carriers later. But hopefully what I've done is I've saved a little bit of time by doing it this way. It's only been about, I think, 20 to 25 minutes. Probably a little more than that, actually. It's probably been closer to 35 minutes, but the fact is, it may have taken even longer. But right now, we should be in just fine shape. The carriers are doing their job. What I might do is just cut up the top here and start clearing out some of the white defenses so I could just take a bunch of Zealots and Dragoons and just move in from that area. Because we've got a bunch here. Not a ton, but enough. Or we can just destroy everything with mass carriers right now. I'm thinking, let's just attack up in this direction and see what we kill. I'm keeping an eye on you, Supply Depot. Again, we are 3-3-3. It just doesn't feel like our interceptors are... It doesn't feel like our interceptors really have the pizzazz that I recall interceptors having. I don't know. This looks like the entrance that our other units would have to walk through. EMP missile. We're going to move these back. Honestly, we're a little too far away from home for me to bother much. As you can see, though, the enemy is dumb. They're filing out of their main base. Out of their main entrance, rather. Meanwhile, we are just very easily killing them. Okay, back up, and we can just micro our carriers just the tiniest bit. And save the ones that are low. Meanwhile, every other one is just going to wreak complete havoc. There are tons and tons of Marines. I guarantee, you know what's happening here? All of these Marines are being exited from bunkers elsewhere. And they're being called to come and defend. That's another reason why AI is just really dumb in this game. I mean, it's not dumb. That's what they should do. But what it does is it makes bunkers just sort of moot. Because if you start attacking an enemy base, they'll pull all of their... They'll pull out all of their units just to defend. And then those bunkers are just... They'll not... I guess, okay, what I'm trying to say is they'll never refill them. That's the issue. They'll never refill those bunkers. Anyway, we're definitely in good shape. We've moved in with some of our ground units here, our mixed ground units. Let's just make a bunch more Zealots and rally them up all the way over here. You guys get in there. And we just have to slowly but surely push through this base. And this is the boring part. Like, we've clearly won, right? Like, unless they have 2 to 3 more science vessels or a lot of ghosts to lock us down with Goliaths to kind of put their money where their mouth is, there's nothing they can do to stop this. I guess if I were really, really careless, perhaps. I don't know. We found some of their production, though. There's a science vessel. Get rid of those spider mines that we can see. And we've got ground units kind of spilling in to help us. So they don't have many. They don't have many tanks left either. I just don't see how this can, you know, what could possibly happen. I am curious to know if maybe we killed the command center, we could finish this. By the way, I do see, apparently the map makers like to utilize spider mines. I wouldn't say in excess, but a lot. I'd hoped maybe you kill the command center, the mission ends. Of course not. But I noticed that there have been at least 10 spider mines so far. And to me, that's not... I wouldn't say that's necessarily in excess if this was like a PvP match, you know, player versus player, but, you know, with the AI, if, you know, the mapmaker places that many spider mines, to me that pretty much means expect a lot of spider mines on pretty much every other mission versus Terran. So I'm going to make sure that we tech into observers every single mission, not just for Wraiths, but for lots and lots of spider mines. We're going to have to be cautious of that, because if we move in with too many clumps of units, especially if you use the move command, because if you use the move command, you're in danger of losing a lot more of your units. Because they're just going to run by. If you use the attack command, at least maybe only your front 2 or 3 units get hit. If not less, because maybe you'll have the chance to kill the enemies that are left. Anyway, I hope this is as much of a thrill for you as it is for me. Maybe the White Terran has some big comeback strategy planned. I don't know. This is usually the time in the videos, in Insurrection, where I would have talked about snacks. Let me tell you about a different kind of snack that I've been enjoying a lot. I've always enjoyed it, but it's not something I ever brought up. So, there are several different brands of kettle cooked chips, so I'm not gonna endorse one in particular. The one that I've eaten and enjoyed is Dirty's, but there are many others, many others. Dirty's kettle cooked chips. There's a jalapeno. It comes in a green and orange bag. It's like a green bag with like a burnt orange trim. Oh, it's the best chip I've ever had in my life. This is also, you know, if you enjoy spicy chips. If you don't enjoy spicy chips, maybe try like the Maui onion. It's got, you know, it's not sweet per se, but it's kind of like, it's like mostly salty with a tiny bit of sweet. So that's my second favorite, I'd say. You know, they got the standard oil and vinegar, that kind of shit. But I have to say, I think Dirty's chips, the jalapeno kind is just, it's top quality. A lot of kettle brand chips, kettle cooked chips rather, they do have a, yeah, that looks like it. They do have a jalapeno variety, and I would recommend trying them for sure. I haven't tried all the different brands though, so I guess I am slightly endorsing Dirty's just because I've had it. Again, it's a green bag with an orange trim. I don't know if you can find these at all stores. We have a shop right by us, and I've not been able to find them there, but we do have a small corner store near the subway station that we walk to, that we utilize to get into the city, and they sell them there. I don't know. Back when I was working in Ohio, there was a vending machine with them, so I have no idea where and how they determine where they're sold, but look into it. Again, kettle cooked chips though, it's a good crunch. They got a solid crunch. Anyway, we've gone past the limits of this mission. I guess I need to save more snack talk for the future. This has been Jay Borino. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye now.